has $1 million in cash, and I'm going to give random people 1 minute to try to spend all this money.
This is a free market, and people, we're a free market economy. They should be able to participate in that.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. Harry Truman said, show me a rich politician and I will show you a criminal. Ladies and gentlemen, and based on that designation, I think that everybody currently serving in political office in America right now, in current year, should probably go to jail. And that's absolutely amplified by what happened yesterday. Nancy Pelosi decided to invest in a little company called Palo Alto Networks, okay? What's the company about? I mean, it's like a security and software company. But when Nancy Pelosi decides to move big and bet on a company, well, that's like a massive activist hedge fund betting on a company. That means that she knows something. It's like so obvious. Nancy Pelosi's insider trading is trading on information that she knows about what's going to happen in the government in the future, and she sets herself up nicely to get massive returns. This is how the impoverished daughter of a failed Baltimore mayor who didn't have a penny to her name has been able to manufacture hundreds of millions of dollars in net worth. We literally have a corrupt oligarchy that runs and decides what they're going to support based on how much wealth it will get them. Why do you think we're in multiple war? Why do you think there's been a war your entire life? I am 37 years old. There hasn't been a single year that America wasn't in a war. Why is that? Because these people get rich off it. It is disgusting. So here's Palo Alto Networks. Nancy Pelosi bought, and that news shot the stock up 10%. Nancy Pelosi bought call options worth $1.5 million. This same company recently fell 30% following their earnings results. Markets are effectively treating Pelosi like an activist hedge fund taking a stake. So why would Nancy Pelosi be investing in a company that is collapsing? She knows something. These are government. This is how it works. There's a government bailout. There's a bill that's going to rain money on companies like this. There's something going on. There's something that's being shoved into some legislation somewhere where like the money printer is going to be shoveling and piping money into this company from the taxpayers. And then Nancy Pelosi gets rich off of inserting something into legislation. This is exactly how it works. People are disgusted, obviously, by this practice. But even we were shocked by the fact that there was a tweet that was posted in response to this chart showing exactly how the stock skyrocketed because Nancy Pelosi used insider knowledge to insider trade to try and get rich here. Ladies and gentlemen, the tweet was posted by none other than MrBeast. MrBeast, as executive producer ALX says, MrBeast said, a little sad that an activist member of Congress can cause billions of dollars of stock to shift like this. Is it also not absurd that the people who make our laws and know classified information can trade on the public markets? The fact that they get intel before the rest of America is consistently tempted not to make millions off it is just a situation we shouldn't be putting them in and seems to be stupid to me. I'd be all for paying them a little more and they not being able to invest or some other solution, says MrBeast, otherwise now known as MrBeast, before his little managers jumped on board, grabbed his phone from him, and deleted the post. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an amazing moment. They couldn't let the mask slip. Why did MrBeast delete this? He deleted it, of course, because MrBeast, much like anyone who's been allowed to become a proper celebrity in culture, must be controlled. Now, I like MrBeast. I don't see anything wrong with him. I've met the guy. He was really nice to me. This one time I met him. But he, just like many of these people, have managers. Well. MrBeast deleted a pretty tame, nonpartisan post critiquing Nancy Pelosi's suspicious and excellent trading record. Guess where Nancy Pelosi's nephew Andrew is a talent manager? MrBeast's agency. Did someone get in trouble for criticizing Aunt Nancy? I'm sure it's just better for the brand to stay out of politics. Here we go. Andrew Pelosi. Well, would you look at that? Got the same creepy eyes, same creepy smile. Andrew Pelosi, of course, stands to gain millions, maybe even billions, from Aunt Nancy's trades. Of course, when Nancy kicks the bucket, the Pelosi family will, of course, get the windfall of all of her fortune and wealth. Screw the rest of the country, of course. MrBeast must be forced to delete Aunt Nancy's critiques. It really is sad the way that it all works. I wish MrBeast had not deleted this. It's spot on. Members of Congress should not be allowed to trade. The only way to have a trading record like Nancy Pelosi is to have access to information the rest of us don't. This is a rampant issue for both Republicans and Democrats. Matt Gaetz saying MrBeast is right. Members of Congress should be banned from trading stocks. And you are starting to see a movement to stop members of Congress from trading stocks. MrBeast posted this, then deleted it. He was responding to Nancy Pelosi's recent options trade. Do you agree with him? Yes, all of America agrees with MrBeast. Nancy Pelosi's 2023 trading gains top 65%, boosted by stock options. There is no way. So Nancy Pelosi is in her mid-80s. There is no way to do these kind of trades. She's beating every hedge fund and every broker on Wall Street. There is no way to do this. It is scientifically impossible without there being literal insider trading going on. Now, this is what they put Martha Stewart in jail for instance. So egregious is it that 60 Minutes, of all places, had to actually go and ask Nancy Pelosi about her insider trading. Amazing. Listen to this response.
And former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and her husband had participated in at least 8 IPOs. One of those came in 2008 from Visa, just as a troublesome piece of legislation that would have hurt credit card companies began making its way through the House. Undisturbed by a potential conflict of interest, the Pelosis purchased 5,000 shares of Visa at the initial price of $44. 2 days later, it was trading at $64. The credit card legislation never made it to the floor of the House. Congresswoman Pelosi also declined our request for an interview, but agreed to call on us if we attended a news conference.
Madam Leader, I wanted to ask you why you and your husband, back in March of 2008, accepted and participated in a very large IPO deal from Visa. At a time there was major legislation affecting the credit card companies making its way through the House. And did you consider that to be a conflict of interest?
I don't know what your point is of your question. Is there some point that you want to make with that?
Well, I guess what I'm asking is, do you think it's all right for a speaker to accept a very preferential and favorable stock deal?
Well, we didn't.
You participated in the IPO.
Well, I have many
and at the time you were
investments, but
Speaker of the House. You don't think it was a conflict of interest or had the appearance of a conflict of interest?
It only has the appearance if you decide that you're going to have elaborate on a false premise. But it's not true, and that's that.
I don't understand what part's not true.
Yes, sir. That I would act upon an investment. Yes, sir.
Congresswoman Pelosi pointed out that the tough credit card legislation eventually passed, but it was 2 years later and was initiated in the Senate.
I will hold my record in terms of fighting the credit card companies as a Speaker of the House or as a member of Congress up against anyone's.
Look at the disgust. Look at her. Look at the face. Look at these people. It's demonic. They are so enraged that anybody would ever hold them accountable. The American people are waking up, man. Like, people are so done with this. People are so, it's like so on its face illegal and immoral and unethical. Both sides, ladies and gentlemen. I would also note that MrBeast has gotten in shape. It's amazing. The time I met MrBeast was when he was working out at my gym here in Tampa. He was here in Tampa to make movies, make YouTube content. And MrBeast, the more in shape he gets, the more alpha Chad that MrBeast gets, the more he becomes based. Isn't that amazing how that works? The bigger of a slob you are, the bigger of a, unemployed degenerate you are, the more the less fight you have. And the more you actually work for something in life, and the more you actually hustle and grind in life, the more you wish to protect what you have built from criminals like Nancy Pelosi who rig the system. Ashley St. Clair predicting correctly. MrBeast, we built 100 wells in Africa. Go watch. Ashley saying, waiting for somebody to call this racist. And boom, American YouTuber MrBeast's goal is to provide clean drinking water for 500,000 people. Activists say his actions shamed the Kenyan government and helped perpetuate stereotype that Africa is dependent on handout. Oh, MrBeast is helping people. You don't like his skin color. It's not working. It's collapsing. The system is collapsing. You're reaching critical mass with people like MrBeast, who's the most followed creator in the world, actually. And of course, they can't have him off message, right? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter. Some of the biggest names in all of media, including leftist people who say they're of the left, are totally in favor of banning stocks for members of Congress and insider trading, regulations, and legislation. This is something that should be forced down upon Congress. They'll never pass this themselves. So you'd need like an executive order. You'd need people like to have an outcry from the public about this kind of stuff. It is open criminality. Vivek Ramaswamy was talking to Charlemagne the God on his show, which is a leftist show, and they both agreed on this. This is one of those very special little points where we can all say, no, we're sick and tired of our political class getting filthy rich off the rest of us and their insider trading. Yes. Call it the Pelosi rule, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
I don't think congressmen should be allowed to trade individual stocks. I don't think bureaucrats should be allowed to trade individual stocks. Actually, my first job was in New York City at the hedge fund world. I worked with some pretty smart people here, and I've met most congressmen. I could tell you they would be better off not trading individual stocks unless they were actually using inside information from Congress and from their bureaucracies to their advantage. I don't think that should be allowed. Now, these aren't Republican ideas or Democrat ideas. I think we need to get the influence.
Everything you just described,
both parties. It's right. Both parties. I mean, if you look at, I hit Nikki Haley on this, but you take Elizabeth Warren. Everybody knows what her salary is, and now her net worth is disclosed to $68 million. I know how you make $68 million, and it is not from collecting the salary of being a U.S. senator. And so if you look at the net worth, it's actually an interesting exercise. If you look at the net worth of people who have spent their entire career in government, that math does not add up. And so that's one of the core elements of my campaign. I think it drew a lot of people to us, which is the people we elect to run the government, the congressmen, the senators, the president. Say what you will, agree or disagree, they should be the ones who actually run the government. It's not too much to ask. Mm-hmm. Today, that's not the case. They're all puppets. It's really the permanent state, the bureaucrats that are running the show. And the second thing is the moral obligation they owe is to the citizens of this country, not another one. So yes, I come down on the side of saying that we should be using our taxpayer resources. We should be using our military resources. Radical idea here, to protect an invasion across our own border sooner than we're using it to protect an invasion across somebody else's border. I don't think that's too much to ask. But the fact that that's controversial both in the mainstream media narrative of American politics today and even in the Republican Party says that, yes, the thing we need to decide in the Republican Party is not me or Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley versus Donald Trump. Forget the personalities. Who are we and what do we actually stand for? I think the Republican Party should become the party of 1776. The party that says we stand for the ideals of the American Revolution. Self-governance, free speech, open debate, that you get to speak your minds openly as long as I get to in return.
We can't agree on some things in life. We can't agree on some things in America. It's so encouraging, ladies and gentlemen. Really. Brightens my day. Mr. Based, please stay based. Please. Don't delete comments like that. Don't cower to your talent agencies. Don't cower to these goblins who work for Nancy Pelosi or are members of her direct family who try and silence you. You're for free speech. You're for the free internet. You should be for a free society. And you should be for common sense. That's actually how we save this place. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay based. Like MrBeast, look here. See you.